What's up, everybody? Peter Eichelman's here with
Tina Sanchez. How are you doing, Peter?
Doing great. We're here today to look at the latest Battlefield 3 multiplayer trailer, which shows off almost all the maps, the rest we already know about, and some cool little features throughout that are a little bit new to the franchise at this point. So let's bring it back to the first opening scene. This level is called the Noshar Canals. It's part train yard, part dock. You see a lot of shipping crates in the area, and the way this map kind of breaks out is you do a lot of running through the crates. There's a lot of places to hide, a lot of open lanes for snipers. But if you bring it ahead a few seconds to the next scene from the level, it's also wide open, and you will see a jet flies by in the upper right-hand corner here. He's coming into the canals via boat, and we also have an attack chopper flying overhead. And I'd like to point out, I played this map at the preview event 2 weeks ago, so it changes depending on the game type. This was one of the first maps we played Team Deathmatch on, which is...
so it was much smaller.
It was much smaller. There weren't any vehicles. There were no boats, so there was no carrier spawn. And it was a lot tighter quarters. But as this trailer is showing off from the get-go, we definitely have boats in this, which... correct me if I'm wrong, but to this point we haven't seen in any of the trailers or demos we've had so far.
So no, not for Battlefield 3 yet.
Yeah, but it's definitely been a key element in others for that whole trifecta of land, sea, and air.
Yeah.
And moving right along here, keep going ahead of this scene, and we're going to jump right into the scene after this. This is one of the biggest elevation changes in the multiplayer maps. This is Damavand Peak.
It's also a new entry to the Battlefield series itself. They've never really had a map like this before.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. The way it starts is, I played it on Rush. So the attackers are coming down from the hills and into the bases that the defenders are trying to hold off. And the further you get down the map, the lower you go. So if you'll see right before this, right before the title card, the final spawn point and the final base that is being protected is at the bottom of this cliff. So here they are base jumping off the cliff to get to the final spawn point. So tell us some of your favorite memories about older Battlefield parachuting.
Yeah, so before, when you would deploy the parachute in any previous Battlefield game, you could pull it maybe, I don't know, a foot or two off the ground and you'd be perfectly fine, and it was kind of like a cheap way to get around, having it deployed the entire time. In this, though, you can see that the guys that jumped off the cliff haven't pulled their parachutes yet, so I'm wondering when they're going to need to do that and time it correctly in order to land without taking any damage, because if you try pulling it before you're a foot off the ground, you'll definitely die.
Yeah, and you can see in the next shot after this one, he's still coming in pretty hard, but he's definitely being slowed down at this point.
But he doesn't seem to be taking any damage, though, so...
Yeah, exactly. So this must be the perfect timing for coming in correctly. And if you're coming down that high of elevation, you're just a sitting duck for anyone playing target practice down at the ground. So let's keep moving along. At the bottom of this map, there's a huge cavern, there's tanks, there's a lot of chopper gameplay in this one, just because of the elevation changes. And
what surprised me was that there was a chopper inside the tunnel if you go...
Yeah, move ahead just a little bit. You'll be able to see one, maybe a clever little pilot kind of snuck his way into the cavern. Right after the tank fires, you'll be able to see it up ahead right there. A low-flying chopper made it into this tunnel.
Yeah, I can't really tell. That is a chopper, right? It's not a UAV.
It's...
Yeah, no, it's a ship.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
It's a good point. It could be a UAV. Either way, it's a pretty high cavern there at the end, so a skilled pilot could technically keep it afloat in there.
Yeah.
Let's move right on along to the next set of maps. This is all still from Damavand Peak and the Destruction of Frostbite 2. We get a little look at the boat gameplay and the train tracks again on Noshar Canals, which obviously it changes depending on game type, like we've already talked about, but it's a big old map with a lot of destruction. And here we're jumping right into another Paris map that's not Operation Metro. This is the Seine Canals, which is the famous river through Paris, with a lot of bridge crossing, a lot of European architecture. That you see the nice rounded corners on the buildings here.
So if you can see the left, that's the river, and there will be boats in the game, right, if you're playing Rush, so that'll be something to look out for. And it runs through the middle of the map.
Yeah, which is, so the fights take place on either side of the river here, with some narrower alleyways and some tighter quarter combat. Moving right on here, we go to the nighttime. This map is called Tehran Highway. which the map I played, it was another death match, which was a lot smaller. We didn't start in the hills like this. We started right underneath the highway with like, some of it had been bombed out and was crumbling, and there's a lot of long, it's a huge horizontal map. There's a lot of long lines of sight, again, for snipers and things along those lines. But as you can see here, there's a lot of room for vehicle gameplay.
Tank battles.
Tank battles. And jumping right along here, we get another glimpse, which we've covered quite extensively, just a clip of Operation Firestorm. We have a great developer commentary already on the site if you want to check that out on IGN.com. So moving right along, we get a few quick glimpses of maps we've already seen in the beta and know a little bit about. We have a glimpse of Operation Metro here with Eiffel Tower in the background. A little sneak peek of Caspian Border here. You can see the radio tower tucked in between the trees there, and a lot of lush green landscape in this one. And if you keep going along, another glimpse of Sign Crossing for the river. And next up is Grand Bazaar, which has the marketplace. And then we jump right into the one map that we didn't see at the preview event the other day. This is Karg Island. This is another one with a lot of the by sea warfare, where you're going to be spawning on an aircraft carrier off the coast. And it's a lot of desert gameplay and trying to capture these oil reserves, which is I guess the story of the multiplayer map.
I can't tell exactly what these are, but it kind of appears to be hovercrafts that can carry vehicles. What do you think about that, Peter?
You can see the giant fans on the back,
Yeah.
and the red smoke indicates like a landing point. So it looks like they've parked very cleanly next to each other, or it could be wider than it appears.
A very large, wide.
I'm
hovercraft.
thinking from the glimpse, you see the two giant fans, and then it looks almost like it has a landing strip in the middle, at least to carry vehicles. So we have a transporting action going here, and it looks like there's two of them next to each other. So that might be one of the best ever ways to start a land invasion by sea, if this is indeed the truth of what they are.
Yeah.
So keep moving along here. Forward, we're going to catch another glimpse of, you see the boat off the coast right there, which is where some players are going to be coming in off to attack. And then, of course, we get the familiar logo. But then after the end of the trailer here, we get a glimpse of the pre-order bonus, which is, Tina.
Back to Cartman.
Which we've heard a lot about. It comes with the limited edition for free. And basically what it is you're getting 4 extra maps, which anyone who's played the original Battlefield 2 is going to be quite familiar with. And it doesn't show them all in the footage coming up after the title card, but what it does show is the one map, Strike at Karkand, which you're going to see some of the Frostbite 2 destruction, which they just couldn't pull off 6 years ago. You'll see here, if you pause it right there, or back a couple frames, a nice clean street, nothing's happened yet, but move it forward and you can see just how much the buildings can come down around you.
I wouldn't say it looked clean before, but yeah, it looks a lot more messed up after
A
that.
little more clean.
Yeah.
That's a peek at almost every map. That's the 9 maps that ship with the retail game, and one of the maps that comes with the Back at Karkand expansion. So Battlefield 3 is almost upon us. Hit stores on Tuesday. Our review is coming very soon, close to release. So stay tuned on IGN.com for all your Battlefield needs.